This week in the UFC,
Former welterweight champion Tyron Woodley faces Jake Paul in a boxing match.
Giga Chikadze stops Edson Barboza in emphatic fashion in round 4.
Kevin Lee loses again in his welterweight debut.
And the full card for UFC 268 has been announced. So let's get right into it. So starting off with Tyron Woodley and Jake Paul. They just had their boxing match. It just finished like a little over an hour ago. And Jake Paul won via split decision. So tell me about the body fight. What happened?
Honestly, I don't even know where we're gonna start with the fight because I just like I literally feeling like a clown thinking that Tyron would have won. Like I mean, he had at one point I think it was like what third round. I think he had Jake Paul like a little bit hurt because he hit him with a right hook and like literally the ropes held up Jake Paul. If it wasn't for the ropes, he would have been a knockdown.
Yeah.
Um,
But he did the world a
you
favor.
know,
Tyron Woodley did do the world a favor. I'm sure everybody was glad to see that.
yeah, I'm also happy that it didn't end in a knockout. For Tyron, for Jake Paul, others.
Yeah, I'm so glad.
If he had got a knockout, I mean, we wouldn't hear the end of it.
I don't even know what. I don't want to know what that world is where Jake Paul knocks out Tyron Woodley. I don't want to know that world.
Yeah, I agree. And,
but the crazy thing is, this thing has gotten so big now because this fight happened in Cleveland, Ohio. And for those of you who don't know, that's LeBron James' hometown. And LeBron James was even talking about it like, damn, Cleveland is pumping. I should have fly back home for this. And you see other guys weighing into the current welterweight champion, Kamaru Usman. He just tweeted that he's, ashamed. Well, not ashamed, but he just tweeted the facepalm emoji. So you can kind of understand his emotions there. Nate Diaz, I think, tweeted out both these guys suck. So it's becoming a really big thing now.
But what is your thoughts on Jake Paul's performance? Because for me, he ate those shots, and honestly, like I hate to give him the credit, but he came back and he was throwing more than Tyron Woodley. He was, even though he was being backed up, he was still able to step jabs, break the guard, and land shots on Tyron Woodley. And Tyron, I don't know what he was doing. He just wasn't throwing for some reason.
Yeah, I like I said, I don't like Jake Paul either, but credit where it's due. He did look really good. He came out, he was getting good. He was coming in, getting good combinations, and getting out without getting touched, which was like, shit. Tyron, you need to wake up. And Tyron really came out really slow too. In the first round, I don't even think he threw a punch, and so that's to show you. But Jake Paul really did impress me. He did a lot better than I thought he would have. He did firm some hard punches from a guy like Tyron Woodley because, I mean, yes, Tyron Woodley is more known for his wrestling, but you don't beat the welterweight champion without having some oomph behind your punch. And, I don't like Jake Paul, but he did show a lot of skills in the ring, and I just can't do anything but give credit to him. He firmed some punches, he was getting in there, landing combinations, getting out. He was maintaining his distance pretty well for the beginning of the fight, but then Tyron Woodley started to close the distance a little bit. When he did get rocked, he did the smart thing. He kept his distance a little bit. He tried to recover, and he was able to get back to his corner, and he was able to, kind of coast through the rest of the fight, we would say, because he didn't look as good as he did at the start or before that punch. So he just kind of coasted out through. He did manage to, keep, like you said, throwing out a jab, breaking through the guard one or two times, and but Tyron Woodley did show that he could take a punch as well because he did take some hard shots and he was relatively unfazed because after the fight, he said he won the fight, which is a little questionable because I think Jake Paul did win it, but they're gonna run it back apparently, which is what are your thoughts on that? Them running it back?
I do not think they should run it back. Like I said, I hate to admit it, but Jake Paul won that fight. I believe it was like maybe 5-3.
I can't remember about it. So around the same thing too. Or 6-2 or
so like I think it was a clear win for Jake Paul, but I mean, I feel like it's more Tyron Woodley's pride and kind of in the moment kind of thing. But it'll be interesting to see if they run it back or not. I highly doubt it will happen. I don't know how you're gonna sell out fight anymore because
I think at this point I told Dana White needs to send one of his like hard killers after him now, like a Jiri, like a Jan Blachowicz, like a Francis Ngannou. He needs to send one of those killers after Jake Paul now, but
he's not gonna do that. I'll tell you why he's not gonna do that, because none of these fighters that Jake Paul has fought is on the UFC contract.
Oh yeah,
Tyron
true.
Woodley
Ben
was released.
Askren. Yeah,
Ben
Ben Askren got
Askren was
released as
released. All of
well.
them, you know,
Yeah, and
and
Nate
he's
Robinson
not
are not playing
gonna
basketball
do
anymore.
that. Yeah. So,
Yeah,
who,
but
who do you think next for Jake Paul? By the way, before
um,
we move on from this
I'd
topic.
probably say I'd like to see Tommy Fury, but I mean, whoever it is he fights next, I just hope they beat him because I don't know KSI. Where's KSI? Let KSI beat him. I'd love that.
But yeah,
Um,
moving on from this topic, what we have going on with Edson Barboza and
Getting absolutely slapped up by Giga Chikadze. That's what happened because both of us actually had Edson Barboza winning that fight, but Giga Chikadze, hey, he's that guy, man. He's really quick. He, the what was it the Giga kick he calls it, where he just lands it and there I
it's like
believe
a spinning back or something, right?
yes, man. But from what I remember this fight, the first round it was kind of Edson Barboza, but Giga was like tagging him up at the end of the round, and then Giga came swinging in the second round and really kind of you know kept it as kept control of the fight, if I'm remembering correctly, because I kind of forgot most of the details from that fight. Do you remember what happened exactly?
I had Edson Barboza win in the first round. He was landing a lot of leg kicks. I don't know why he didn't stick with that, but like I feel like if he had stuck with that, he might have got a little bit more damage to Giga Chikadze's leg and might not have been able to throw all of those kicks, all those like he was throwing axe kicks as well, and they were so quick. Like I don't know how Edson Barboza avoided them for all those rounds. But yeah, round one was Edson Barboza, and then from round two is kind of when Giga Chikadze like kind of found his range, kind of was getting into it, and he basically started picking him apart from there. And credit to Edson, he had his moments in the fight, but you know he got caught with what he got caught with something in the fourth round. I really can't remember what, but he got finished on defense. In a flurry of punches, and to be fair, he got enough chances from the referee to try and recover, but like he was out on his feet, so like
Yeah.
it was a good stoppage in my opinion. So
Mhm.
I don't know how you feel about it.
Yeah, I think that was kind of the end for Edson Barboza because if I remember the end of the fight correctly, he got up and then well they got back standing and he got he got absolutely slapped up and he fell back down and I think that's when the referee stepped in and stopped the fight. And this, interestingly enough, extends Giga Chikadze's UFC record to 7-0. I didn't even realize he was yet to lose yet in the UFC. And after the fight, in the interview, he called out Max Holloway, who hasn't fought since I believe like the first card of the year, all the way back in January, the first pay per view of the year. But he hasn't fought since January. So, what's your thought about that potential Chikadze and Max Holloway fight in the future?
Um, who did Max Holloway beat? He beat Calvin Case, right? I think Calvin Case
Yeah,
was ranked to what, number 6 at the time.
I believe so. I can't remember.
Right, he was ranked somewhere. I don't think that was a fight for Max Holloway to take. I think he should take somebody a little bit higher in the rankings because Giga Chikadze might move up to maybe 9 or 8 from that win.
Mm-hmm.
And Max already beat like the top one of the top 5. So I think one more win and that would guarantee him a rematch. Well, depending on how next month's pay per view go with Alexander Volkanovski and
Brian
Brandon
Ortega.
Ortega, but yeah, I don't think that's a fight for Max Holloway right now. In the future, yes, maybe.
Yeah, I
Depending
think so
on
as well.
how his fight goes. But yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, I think so as well. I think Max Holloway should more be focused on the title picture rather than Giga Chikadze. Don't get me wrong, Giga Chikadze definitely does have the talent to get there, but he just has to get there first. I believe he was going into this fight last night. He was ranked number 10, and well, like you say, he should go up to 9 or 8 or something. So maybe if Giga Chikadze gets another guy in the top 5, I don't have the rankings in front of me, but if he gets another guy in the top 5 and beats him convincingly like he did to Edson Barboza, then yeah, definitely he could probably have a fight with Max or a fight with whoever the champion or at the time. So I think it's still one more fight for Giga Chikadze, but he's almost there. And Max
Yeah,
Holloway
I agree.
should focus
And
on the title
speaking
fight.
of, huh?
And Max Holloway should focus on his title fight. But yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. But speaking of people losing convincingly,
Hey,
you have Kevin Lee.
Yeah,
I
what's
don't know
that?
what to say about him.
Tell me what's going
Honestly,
on with
I
Kevin
really
Lee.
don't.
Tell me what's going on with Kevin Lee. Let me hear it.
Right, so Kevin Lee was a lightweight, and I do not know what it is with these lightweights going up to welterweight. I'm thinking they could hang with anybody in the top five at least, because I don't know if it's like a Conor McGregor thing, or if it's like, well, Nate Diaz was a lightweight and he moved up, but
Nate
he's
Diaz is a
still
guy of his
tall,
own,
and
dog.
you
He's
know
like he's his own
he has
person,
weight.
dog. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's like a Conor thing where they all trying to like follow, and I don't know what it is. But Kevin Lee just got dominated by Daniel Rodriguez last night, and I don't know where he goes from here, because he didn't make it at lightweight. I don't see him beating anyone in the top 10 at lightweight, and he actually lost to Tony Ferguson a couple of years ago for the interim lightweight title. So I guess that's why he moved up to
Welterweight.
welterweight, and I do not see him beating anybody in the top five. Not Masvidal, not Usman, not Kobe. I don't know.
Leon
I
Edwards.
don't know where he goes from here. So what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know where he goes from here either. Does he hang up the gloves? Maybe, but I think a guy like Kevin Lee still has one to fight, still has have that fight in him. I think a probably good guy for him to fight might be Bilal Muhammad. But I still see Bilal Muhammad winning that fight if they were to win. But I still give him, out of all the guys in the UFC welterweight rankings, I'd probably say he has the best shot against Bilal Muhammad out of all of them.
You know, I didn't even think of that name, but that's actually a fight that I would not mind seeing.
Yeah.
So yeah, and the thing is, Kevin Lee's young, and he's only 28 years, and I'm kind of sad because he used to talk all this trash talk at lightweights, and then he couldn't back it up, and at the weigh-ins he called Daniel Rodriguez little for some reason. I don't know what was
Mind games.
what was behind that.
Well, there's a lightweight who has been, on a pretty big losing streak recently. We probably should match up against. You might know him pretty well. They call him the notorious Conor McGregor.
Well, Conor would dismantle this man.
It's a great fight
but
because
honestly-
Conor needs a win
Honestly,
back.
I actually don't mind that. Like if we need to see how Kevin Lee, if he fights again this year, I highly doubt.
Yeah, me too. I doubt he fights this year.
But when Conor comes back, I mean, yeah, so that's a good fight for him.
Yeah.
A warm up fight to test out that titanium leg, but we'll see.
Hey, we can't. It won't be an episode without talking about Conor McGregor. But you mentioned the welterweight champion Kamaru Usman. It got announced last night the full UFC 268 card with Usman versus Covington 2 being the main event. Also on that card, there's Rose Namajunas defending her strawweight title against Zhang Weili in the rematch they had earlier, I believe, in March. Justin Gaethje is fighting for the first time since his loss to Khabib Nurmagomedov. He's fighting Michael Chandler. Sean Strickland, who we mentioned in last week's episode, or week before's episode, when he beat Uriah Hall, he's taking on Luke Rockhold. Frankie Edgar's taking on Marlon Vera, whose biggest accomplishment is beating Sean O'Malley. Jermaine Durandamy is taking on Irene Aldana, and Ali Quinta is taking on Bobby Green in the first fight of the main card. So what do you think about the main card that UFC 268? What are your thoughts about it?
I don't think I've seen a card this stacked in a while. Like I literally can't recall the last. Maybe I think the last card I saw this stack was Usman Masvidal 1.
Masvidal 1?
And
You mean 2?
Oh yeah, 2.
Yeah.
Because that was the fight with
That's the
where
first.
Yan Rose was on.
Yeah, and there was another title fight. I think it was Peter Yan and Aljamain Sterling was on that card as well.
Honestly, I can't even remember when that fight happened, but
I think that was sometime in March or April. But yeah.
Yeah, it starts and it's in New York. It's in Madison Square Garden. So I mean,
that building's gonna be rocking that night in November. And looking at it, I don't think there's a single bad fight on the card. To be honest.
Yeah, it's good from first fight to the last, and I mean, you don't have to ask it, right? It's like Let me hear some predictions from 1 to 6.
Alright, okay, well, I'll start at the bottom with
I know
our,
it's
like,
early for this, but
yeah,
let me go.
we,
Change it
when we
based
do
on
our
anyway.
preview, we'll have, like, a better breakdown of predictions, but a quick rundown, starting from the bottom. I like Quinta Bobby Green, I'll say I like Quinta, Jermaine Durandamy, Frankie Edgar, Sean Strickland, Justin Gaethje, Rose Namajunas, and Kamaru Usman. What was your prediction? Let me hear.
You guys really. I was leaning more towards Bobby Green,
Ooh.
Irene Aldana, Tito Vera or Marlon Vera.
Oh, you're just picking the opposite of me?
And then, no. I actually favor Sean Strickland over
Luke Rockhold.
Luke Rockhold.
Yeah, I just think
I
it's past it.
really want to see Michael Chandler beat the brakes off of Justin
Are
Gaethje, so
you
that's my pick.
stupid, dog? But you thought that, you know what? Hey, that we'll save that for the preview show in November. Yeah, we'll go ahead.
I have I have Rose winning for the strawweight title. I wouldn't be surprised if Zhang really could get it done, though. She has phenomenal boxing and some really good. Oh my god, she has some good power in those hands. But I mean, I'm still favoring Rose for this fight.
See a head kick coming again.
For the main event,
Well, I know we disagree about that one. I know you and me disagree about the main
like
event.
Kobe Covington for this one.
Nah, man, nah. Cause it's Kamaru Usman just too dominant.
He is too dominant, but yeah, if his one man could get it done, his Kobe Covington could get it done.
Yeah, but we'll see. But keep it tuned, guys. We will be bringing you that preview for UFC 268 when it's closer to November, because that is happening on the 6th of November. But yeah, guys, let us know your comments down below for UFC 268. Let us know what you think about the Jake Paul Tyron Woodley fight, who he's going to fight next. And yeah, guys, as always, keep it tuned. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. All the links in the description. As always, guys, later.